morning, good morning, good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, we got to talk a little Carnage, baby. We got to talk a little Cletus Cassidy, baby. Cletus Cassidy, Carnage coming in Venom 2. There is a little leak about the Venom 2 trailer. It teases something very crazy about the Carnage character, and I wanted to talk about why I believe we're very lucky that Sony is going to be establishing Carnage rather than the MCU. Yeah, I know. I said it, and we're going to explain why. Also, I want to get into a little bit of DCEU stuff. I know. Well, you know, news must be slow when Josh is talking about the DCEU. I'm only kidding, of course, kind of. So I want to talk about Matt Reeves and the things he's been saying about the Batman lately. He's been talking quite a bit. I think we'll get into that. I'm very curious as to what you guys are all thinking about the Batman as well. I see a bunch of beautiful people in here, man. We got Trinity Stormbreaker, Jareth Lovebreaker, Bill M. Marvel Maniac, Jareth, I said your name twice, David, Will, James Heaton, Mark Flyer, Mike Porter, Maverick's in the building, Jonathan's here, Ray Hall, Cody. What's going on, everybody? Flatbush Zombie, Yinzerjin, Cody, Brian O'Connor, Dingo Gaming, Michael Wright, Alexander Abrams. That's like our battle cry. That's our nerdy battle cry. Say it again. Oh, your name. Oh, my bad, man. My bad. I thought you were ready for some wilding out. The sound of my people. It's the sound of my people. That's the sound of all people after day, whatever it is, of quarantine land, man. I got to tell you. No one else had anywhere to go today either. Well, welcome. Just be blunt. Welcome. Thought you were singing Tarzan. Hey, maybe a little Tarzan, man. Hey, look, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are making it through. I wanted to say something, too, before we get into this Carnage talk, and we will get into this Carnage talk. I did want to say, I've been noticing online, and just in life in general, that people have been a little more tense than usual. Chet, put me on the big screen. This is a big deal. This is serious. I have noticed that perhaps due to quarantine, you know, just general stress and anxiety, if you will, I have noticed that people are a little bit more combative. People are a little bit more tense. People are a little bit more irritable. And I get it. You know, it's funny because I think that for a lot of us, we imagine that on the other end of this, there'll be a lot of great things, a lot of humanitarian things. I don't know if you guys have been paying. I'm one of these guys that I there's a handful of people that I trust their opinions and their insight into things, you know? Different people that speak about economics, certain people talk about it. I listen to them more than others. You know, certain people talk about health. I listen to them more than others. It's part of the sense-making apparatus. You know, we have to find people out there that we believe to be authorities in things. No one person can be an authority in everything. Nor should you be. It's not what life's about. So we rely on the expertise of other people. So I've been listening to a lot of different people talk about what's going on in the world right now, and I'm convinced that this ain't healthy for us. You know, this really is not healthy for us. And there's going to be some positive things that come out of this and some negative things that come out of it. But right now, whoo, baby, people are tense. So I would just recommend to people out there that as much as you can in these times, you got to try to be zen, man. You got to try to be zen. Now is not the time to be poking bears. Now is not the time to be trying to have these crazy arguments. Oh, my God. Just almost destroyed the table online or anything like that. So that's just, you know, your little word of wisdom for the day. You know, try to be cool. You know, like Jules said in Pulp Fiction, bitch, be cool. As much as you possibly can. We got to be cool. All right, so let's talk some Carnage. Chet, put the music back on. It's really awkward. I said that I said that thing. Nobody's feeling it. Nobody's feeling it. Okay, yep, put it back on. Everybody's getting all tense. All of the tenseness. Everybody's getting all tense, man. Cody says, dude, I've been working face on Warzone lately. Have you been doing good? That's good, man. I might get back on there today. Watch Tom Bilyeu. Love Tom Bilyeu. Love Tom Bilyeu, man. I had a great talk with him at New York Comic Con. What a brilliant dude. I actually have the Impact Theory pen and journal. Big fan of Tom Bilyeu, man. And it was cool to meet Tom. But yeah, try to be chill. Try to be chill. Mental health is, I mean, it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody. We gotta be chill. We gotta be chill. Gotta be chill. Gotta be chill. Chill out. Chill out. Chill. 1 2 chill. 1 2 check chill. 1 2 check chill. Anyone know when the Venom 2 teaser is coming out? Well, some people believe it's coming out very soon. Actually, in fact, let's talk about that a little bit. There is a supposed leak of the trailer going around. Now, here's the dilly-dally. I don't know, and I can't tell you whether or not this leak is true. Okay? And I don't necessarily want to get into everything that is even in the leak. However, one thing that's in the leak, and I saw some people talking about this, it made me realize that we're probably actually pretty lucky to have a character like Carnage being done over at Sony as opposed to being done at Marvel. And I think it's pretty obvious why, but we'll talk about this. In the trailer, again, take it with a grain of salt. In the trailer description, there is supposed to be a scene of trick-or-treating, okay? And Carnage is doing some kind of trick-or-treating, and he ends up sort of showing his face, being very horrible. He supposedly burns down an orphanage, killing kids. Talking about how death and killing is an art. You know what I mean? It's an art. There's also talk of him saying something to the effect of like death. His plan goes way beyond death. Okay? And it made me realize, man, if we're going that dark with Carnage, which we should, it's probably better that Sony is doing this as opposed to Marvel. Taking the lives of others is pure art, which was also confirmed by an Instagram post that Tom Hardy made. That's pretty brutal. My goal is greater than death. Pretty brutal. Would Disney be able to do a good Carnage? Yeah, probably. Would they Disneyfy Carnage? 100%. 100%. And so, because Venom is already an anti-hero, you definitely need a brutal villain. And Carnage specifically from the comics is an insane psychopathic killer. And I just can't help but think that the MCU version of Cletus would be a little bit different. Video keeps going out? Anybody else having video problems? Anybody else having video problems? 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2. By the way, the Clown Prince of Dagobah, I like that name. Josh approves. Nope. Nah. Nope. Okay, so you might just want to reset your browser. The vid's good. Awesome. I appreciate it. But yeah, I just think that Marvel would have done a different thing with Cletus. I don't know exactly what they would have done, but it's very clear. I mean, you can even look at the changes to Marvel just from when they were an independent studio and then when they were bought by Disney. I mean, obviously we know this is a thing. Disneyfication, right? And so it's actually good that Cletus will be done as insane and as brutal as we need him to be over with Sony. They do not have the same concerns. Even the first Venom movie is pretty brutal, dudes. Pretty brutal. You know what I mean? And I think they'll obviously take that to the next level. And that's cool. Cletus should have no redeeming qualities. He should be funny. We should kind of like him. He's a little bit like the Joker in that way, right? Well, you can't actually legitimately have the Joker be relatable. You know what I mean? All these people are like, oh, I can relate to the Joker. Yeah. There should be a dark side of you that resembles the Joker's motif. That I think we can all accept, but that's not necessarily relatable, right? It needs to be this horrific psychopathic thing. And I think that's going to be very important for Cletus. And Woody Harrelson is a brilliant actor to be doing this. Reminds me of Natural Born Killers a little bit. You know, his kind of style in Natural Born Killers, his way of thinking, his philosophie, if you will. I just don't think Disney would let Venom say turd in the wind. Yeah, probably not. Ricardo, what's going on, brother? I want to see Carnage eating children while they sleep. Yeah. Because we need to hate him. And we need him to be so hardcore and evil that Venom looks like a really good person by comparison. Now, Venom's already on the path to be a hero and all that, but... What's my favorite season of Game of Thrones? Season 1. Season 1, baby. When do I think the trailer will be out? I believe they will drop a teaser trailer soon-ish, probably in the next couple of weeks. There's that big rumored description that's out there for the trailer, which we've been talking about a little bit here. But that seems to be the thought process. Crashing Wagon Productions with a $10 super chat says show support. Well, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that support. Appreciate that support. By the way, guys, if you do want to show some support, go show some love to the videos we did yesterday. Crazy glitches on YouTube yesterday. Crazy glitches. Destroyed the view counts on our videos. I'm going to post about them on the community tab. I hope that more people go check them out over time. But, man, YouTube has this really cool way of being the fucking worst. The worst. Like, there was this glitch where there was this view count showing zero view count on the second video for like an hour and a half. And I know YouTube's getting pounded right now, but like, come on. Jason says, I watched all the videos of yesterday. Well, then you're the best. I have not been getting dead notifications. That's because YouTube's terrible. You guys remember movie theaters? The Illuminati video was terrific. Thank you, man. I'm glad you liked it. I like that Illuminati video as well. Thoughts on the confirmation of Dane Whitman having his comic-accurate suit in the Eternals? I'm actually going to do a video on that later today, Stormbreaker. That's the first video out today. Wait a minute. Joseph says we got 90 people in the chat and only 9 likes. If we don't get those likes up, it's going to be a real short fucking stream, ladies and gentlemen. It might be 3 more minutes. I need to see the like count go dramatically up in the next 3 minutes, or I'm taking the morning off. $35, we're getting there. Still not good enough. Look, I certainly want to know what you all think about this, though. What do you think? Do you agree that it's kind of a silver lining that we're getting Carnage done by Sony rather than Marvel Studios? Obviously, I love my Marvel Studios, but I feel like we need that hardcore edge, man. You know what I mean? Like, we need almost like a Marvel Max type thing. And I'm like, you know, look, I know there's a lot of Marvel fans out there that thumb their noses up to Sony. don't like Sony. They want everything to go back to Marvel. I love Marvel. Look. Keep them shill checks coming, baby. I love me the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, a lot. After I drop big money, you're ending early. Yep, Crash and Wagon production. That's how we do it. But that is my opinion. We need this other hardcore version. I'm glad that Sony is doing what they are doing. Now, look, obviously, we'll have to base the product on the product. When we see the product, we will see. You know? Calty is brooding a bomb on us today? Well, that's awesome, man. Can't wait. Can't wait. I want the darker side to my superhero movies, to be honest, but I just wish it were all connected with Marvel and Sony. I think that's a totally fair statement, man. And to be honest with you, we don't know how this will all work in the future. It's possible, although unlikely, it is possible that the Sony characters do end up coming over, hanging out with some Marvel characters. But you know what I think? I think they're setting Carnage up. This is just my opinion. But I think dropping with your fat fingers. You got some quarantine fat on your fingers, bruh? Trinity, are your fingers porking up like your buddy Josh is porking up? Look, I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to do some push-ups. I'm trying to get on the stationary bike in the house and do all this, that, and the other thing. It's not the same for me. I need to be in the gym. I need heavy objects around. I need grunting. I need the stale smell of sweat. I need horrible industrial fans and shitty lighting. I need my gym back. Look, when can I go back to the gym? I'm losing my fucking mind over here. Anyway. Getting back to it. Start benching Chet. I'm going to start using Chet as like a punching bag. You know what I mean? Little smack there, little and then I give him one of these. You watch it, Chet. Yeah, they're giving me some good ideas over here, motherfucker. I think you're done. God, is this the most ADD stream on the internet? Probably. Here we go. Open them back up, man. Open them back up, for God's sakes. 3 dislikes? 3 dislikes? But see, guys, this is what I was talking about at the top, man. This is what I was talking about at the top. You know, people are just grumpy. People are tense right now. Things are a little bit crazy right now. The 3 dislikes, normally that would send me into a conniption. But because of what's going on in the world, we're going to be very zen about this. We're going to be very cool about this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, these dislikes, it's like, it is what it is. We're going to be cool about it, right? We're going to be cool. So, going back to my point. Chat, what was the point? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, right, thanks. So, Carnage. This is what I think they're going to do with Carnage. I believe what they're doing with Carnage is they're actually setting him up to be sort of almost like the Steppenwolf to Darkseid, which should have happened in, you know, the freaking DCEU. But I think they're setting Carnage up to be sort of an agent of Null. I really do believe that Null will be sort of their Thanos that they're building towards in the Venomverse. And you need Carnage to be really evil and twisted in order for that to work. And Carnage and Null do have some connections in the comics, obviously. So, you're the 69th like, Dora? Beautiful. Beautiful. You ain't never going back to the gym. New normal apocalypse. Hey, look, there is a lot of weird new normal stuff. Look, don't necessarily want to get into all of this kind of talk, but I think Bill Gates is kind of spot on. If you've been hearing what Bill Gates has been talking about, and also Mark Cuban, pretty smart dudes, man. And what they're talking about with the future of the economy and things like that, it's going to be very interesting. I think we're looking at a couple years here, man. I think we're looking at a couple years before we get back to normal. Ooh, what's your favorite comic cover of all time? That's a tough one, dude. That is a tough one. Oh, man, I wish something would just jump out at me, but I can't really think of anything. You know, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. What about you guys? You guys got something? Hey, Friday could be a good teaser. What about yeah, we could do a top 10 or top 5 on that. What about the cover? Isn't there the cover where Spider-Man or where Punisher is holding Spider-Man in Civil War for the finale? Avengers vs. X-Men is pretty good. Yeah. Other than now I have to drop 60 on a new Apple TV remote because your kids lost yours. Aw, man. Yeah, that's rough. X-Men 141. Any truth to the Ghost Rider rumors? Not that I know of. Yeah, the House of X NYCC edition we got this year. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit here, ladies and gents. I want to talk about the Batman. I want to talk about Matt Reeves and the Batman. Yo, pause the music, chat. We're going to get serious. We're talking about Batman for a second here. Matt Reeves has been talking about Batman a little bit, guys. And I want to read a couple of things that he said, and then I want to discuss with you guys and see how you feel about all of this Batman talk. First up, New York Times. What? New York Times? Talking to Matt Reeves about Batman? Oh, total ADD side note moment. Y'all know that Fusion Reborn is trending on Twitter right now? It might even be trending on Twitter #1 in the United freaking States. Fusion Reborn. Dragon Ball Z movie. Fusion Reborn. Trending on Twitter right now. We're definitely in the end of days. Anyway, so okay, let's get into this. Let's talk a little bit about what Matt Reeves is saying. The question here posed to Mr. Reeves is it really possible on a film like Batman, where many masters are served, to make it feel very connectable to people, to make people feel connected to the character? And the way he answers here, he says, of course, these things have to be mined in a way that can make these companies money. You never know whether the people in charge of those IPs are going to be open to your vision. But if they weren't, I wouldn't have done Batman. I was like, look, there have been some great Batman films, and I don't want to just make a Batman film. I want to do something that has some emotional stakes. My ambition is for it to be incredibly personal, using the metaphors of that world. It feels like this really odd throwback to the movies I came up on from the 70s, like Clute or Chinatown. I'm not saying we're achieving anything like that. Those are masterpieces, but that's the ambition. He goes on to ask, they go on to ask him about, if they'll be coming back to work, when they'll be coming back to work. And he kind of just, talks about how there's more important things and everything like that, okay? So another question they asked is, do you think the demand for this kind of escapism will be even greater when audiences are finally able to see it? And I think that's a very smart question, actually. Reeves answers, I hope so. With Tales, which is a show that he's working on, which we can talk about as well if you would like, and what we're trying to do with Batman is create just enough distance so that you can have the fantasy of saying, wow, what if I could experience that one impossible thing? You have the level of wish fulfillment, but it connects to your life in a way that doesn't feel entirely like an escape. It can really touch you, but it gives you just enough distance that you don't have to feel the pain of it too much. Okay? So that's pretty interesting. Now, I want to read one more thing that he said. This is when he was talking to Nerdist.com. Okay? He says here, I thought, well, there's been some terrific Batman movies, and I don't want to be a part of a long line of Batman movies where this is just another one. I feel like they've been really distinctive. The best ones have been incredible. What Nolan did was incredible. What Tim Burton did was really singular. I just felt like, well, what I'd love to do is get a version of this Batman character where he's not fully formed, where there's something to do in this context with who that guy would be in this world today, and to ground him in all these broken ways. Because at the end of the day, this guy is doing all of this just to deal with trauma in his past. Okay. So, let's get back into chatting. I of course want to know what you guys think about that, and we will shift into Q&A in just a second here. But let me explain something to you guys. All of that, everything he just said, is exactly why I'm incredibly worried about the Batman. You might have thought, oh, this is cool. Oh, I'm glad that he's saying these sort of things. Oh, this sounds really sweet. No. This is almost exactly why I am incredibly concerned about the Batman movie. It's time to talk some shit on the Batman. Time to talk some shit on the Batman. What does that sound like? That sounds like a postmodern take on Batman. Punisher Batman confirmed. He's literally expressing all of the things that I am really worried about. Number one thing that Josh is really worried about. Really worried that this dude looked at the Batman project and said, how can I make sure people know it's Matt Reeves' Batman? How can I stand out and do something really, really cool, really cinematic with Batman, something unique that stands out? I hate that shit. I hate it. Brandon White, thank you for the super chat. We should see Batman lost and have to learn some lessons and not just have a contingency plan for his contingency plans. Brandon, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for that super chat and support. Also, Eric's on. We talked about Venom 2, and we're going to get into Q&A, and we can talk about Venom 2 again more in a second, but let me talk about Batman for a second, goddammit. Everybody's coming in asking about Venom. We already talked about Venom. And I get it. You know, it's a live stream. You know, you weren't here at the beginning. It's all gravy. Give me a second. We'll circle back to Venom, okay? Relax. Let me complain about Batman for a second. Can I complain for a little bit on my own stream? Thank you. Yeah, strap on your helmets. We're about to go to Rant Town. I literally can't stand that attitude. I can't stand that attitude from directors and from Hollywood people and creatives. It's like they got to put their spin on it. It's like Batman's not interesting enough. There's not enough good Batman stories out there. It can't just be another Batman film. Okay? Simp Batman. So, number one, that sort of confirms my suspicions and my concerns that Reeves is more... It's like the Rian Johnson effect with The Last Jedi. It's like he's more concerned with making sure people know this is the Matt Reeves Batman and what that means in the pantheon of Batman films than the actual character or the fans of that character that have been around for a long, long time. Okay? So, number one, that concerns me. Number two, there's a lot of talk about, like, grounding the character. You know what I mean? The character's not fully formed. What would this guy be in the world today? Ground him in all of these broken ways. Because at the end of the day, he's doing this for trauma. Yeah, he is, but also, like, we don't need a postmodern take on Batman. I also really don't like this idea of, well, we don't want Batman to be escapism. We don't want Batman to be escapism. You know what I mean? Like, we want you to have a little bit of wish fulfillment, but at the end of the day, we want you to be reminded of all of your life problems through this film. This film cannot be escapism. This sounds like all of the perfect ingredients for a Batman film that I'm going to hate. So I can't help it. You know what I mean? The dude wants to make Chinatown with Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? He's obsessed with making his own version of Batman, his own thing of Batman. He wants to ground it. He doesn't want there to be escapism fully. Do you guys see why I'm concerned about this? Are you picking up what I'm setting down? Do you understand? They don't know what to do with Batman. They don't understand the fan bases they already have for these established characters. And they feel as though they need to just do this Hollywood postmodern, unique, crazy, unique thing. It's the newest thing. Oh my God, it's Punisher Batman. Fanjecture says, I understand every point you're making, but I don't agree. I don't know what it's like to have mature discourse and be able to agree to disagree on the internet. So what you're saying is not computing to me. So I don't understand what this is. Where you're like respectfully disagreeing. I don't. What? Fanjecture? What? Oh, there you go. That's much better. Okay, yeah, no, now we're good. No, I just think that it's like everything that I hear the dude say is literally like all of my worst fears about this are coming true. But now let's get into Q&A. Everybody wants to talk about frickin' Venom too. I mean, it's almost like I made the thumbnail and title about it, and now everybody wants to talk about it, so I guess we'll have to talk about it. Fuck me, I guess, huh? Let's get into Q&A, guys. Feel free to drop in your questions. It's time to shift the conversation into what you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. So let's get into that. I saw somebody say, before we get into the Venom stuff, can we talk about, what was the thing you wanted to talk about? Ghost Rider. Fan Loyal Gaming. Yeah, look, man, I mean, I can look into that Ghost Rider bit, but I don't think there's any truth to it. It hasn't popped up on any of the channels that I go to get my news. It hasn't popped up on any of the websites from the people that I think are actually great at covering scoops. So it's not on my radar. You know what I mean? That Ghost Rider thing, and I'm not saying that like I have a perfect radar for this sort of stuff. There's definitely stuff that can pop up that could happen. That would be crazy. But yeah, as far as that Ghost Rider rumor is concerned, I'm sorry to report, I feel as though it comes from bad sources. You know what I mean? Not that it couldn't happen, it's just not coming from actually good sources. Do you think that Disney should cut ties with Spider-Man to avoid brand confusion? Burke the Nerd. That's a great question. So here's what I think about that. I think that unfortunately, Marvel was operating under the impression that they were going to be able to work stuff out with Sony and move forward. And I think that Feige did leverage or utilize the Spider-Man character a bit too much. We heard a lot of reports that in October of last year, massive changes happened to the MCU. That's right around the time that the Sony-Marvel deal fell apart. And I think that Feige learned a valuable lesson there, and that, yes, they are going to sort of downplay the connective tissue between Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the rest of the MCU. I do believe that. Now, let's talk about this Venom 2 trailer real quick. There's a lot of great questions coming in here, but everybody's all fired up because they didn't talk about Venom. Yeah, I get it, Eric. All right, so let's talk Venom 2. This is what we talked about before. There's a rumor about the trailer coming out. It should be coming out soon. And in this trailer, we are apparently going to get just brutal Venom. Brutal Carnage. There's talks of a trick-or-treat scenario in which Cletus Cassidy is in a mask, reveals his crazy Carnage self behind the mask. burns down an orphanage and is killing a lot of people. And what I said at the beginning of the show today was I'm actually grateful that Sony is introducing Carnage to us as Marvel fans rather than the MCU, because there's just too much of a Disneyfication going on over with the MCU. And so I'm very grateful that Carnage will be introduced by Sony, and I hope that they can keep a hard edge over there. So he might be eating kids, basically. That's what we talked about earlier. Renee says, can we talk about Batman? Will Venom 2 be rated R? I doubt it. But I think it'll be, like, it's not just about ratings, right? When does the trailer come out? It should come out in the next couple of weeks. The teaser should come out in the next couple of weeks, if they don't move it. Because you're thinking like about 6 months out on a teaser, you know what I mean? If they don't move the date, the teaser will come out in the next couple of weeks. I'm really trying here for you Venom people. I'm trying, Owen. You know what I mean? How is Carnage brutal in PG-13? So here's the thing. Think about PG-13. Think about some of the films you have seen that are PG-13 that can really, really push that bar. You know what I mean? You can really push a PG-13 rating. But Disney would probably not push a PG-13 rating. You know what I mean? There's certain things that Disney would not want done in a movie. And Sony would appear to be less concerned about those things. So it's not so much about the rating as it is about what are they going to try to get away with in that rating. You know what I mean? Thanos killed half the entire universe, though. That's pretty brutal. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, and it was used in a very important stage for Marvel. You know what I mean? They had sort of built up 10 years of happy endings, and then they took that all away. And I think the way they did the snap was very brutal. It's not bloody, which, by the way, it was actually, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a version of that was going to be bloody. Where they're all like falling apart or exploding and very bloody. You can look it up. There's literally... They were going to do a different version of that was much more brutal, and they decided to go with the dust. And I think the dust actually works better. It's actually more psychological. You know what I mean? It messes with you that way. But it's not brutal in the same way that, like, blood and gore would be. Charles Murphy brought up a great point yesterday. When they were casting for the Eternals, they were casting for Zurus, Karen, and a Greek god. Hopefully that means Hercules and Crow on the list too. Yeah, my only thing is, wouldn't Hercules be spoiled in the Funko Pop thing? Yo, Micah, I got you, bro. I got you today, I promise. Wouldn't they have spoiled Hercules though in the Funko Pop tease? I don't think Hercules is there. You know what I mean? It was rather impersonal. You're waiting 5 weeks and still no teaser? Well, you know, if you hadn't noticed, there's just a few things going on. They're probably reconsidering their dates and everything like that. Any thoughts on Deadpool 3? I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm interested to see how it ties into the MCU, if it ties into the MCU. I want Cable. I mean, you know, we talked about Brolin as Cable. I would really like Brolin to stay as Cable in the MCU. I get a feeling they'd probably recast, but I'd really like that. They're not going to do anything that brutal in Venom. PG, so they can make money. I don't know why you give Sony so much slack. They're almost as bad as DC and Warner Brothers. I get that a lot of people feel that way. I do. But I don't. I don't. I like the Venom movie. I think it's really cool. It's charming. I think it's got some cool stuff in it. Carnage is going to be dope. Woody Harrelson's going to be dope. I just think that Sony's done a lot of good stuff. You know what I mean? What characters do you think will be in Deadpool 3? That's really hard to say. I have zero idea. The only thing that I know about the Deadpool 3 thing is I think that they got a really great pitch. Like, I think they really had an awesome pitch because there was some talk where Reynolds was kind of saying that, like, unless the pitch was amazing, they didn't want to take it to Feige and Marvel Studios. And it looks like they did pitch and they are moving forward. So the pitch must have been accepted and it was probably really crazy. So maybe they pitched like Merc with a mouth or something. You know, going through the multiverse, ending up in the MCU eventually. You know what I mean? Sony's done 5 good movies in 15 years. Man, the Sony hate is real. The Sony hate is real. When does that Magic the Gathering from yesterday's stream drop? Oh, Yinzer Jim, you're talking about the actual set? I don't know when you can actually. I think they pushed it a little bit. The digital sales will go on in about a week, and then I would assume maybe next month is when you can get your physicals of that Magic the Gathering thing. But, like, it's hard to see. Like, there were literally copies of that card. Somehow people have copies of Ikoria already. And they're selling that thing for like $1,000. And people are buying it. People are buying that card for $1,000. Crazy. I don't know if Venom 2 is going to be delayed. I almost feel like Venom 2 will be okay in its date. Magic cards? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Talking about a little Magic the Gathering. You ever heard of it? MTG? You know, shout out to Joe Gamer, just hitting the We Are Venom over and over again. Tobey Maguire in Doctor Strange 2? No. Felt like they were too afraid to push the horror. You mean in Venom 1? Love MTG. Yeah, man, I'm feeling it. Morbius looks trash, you think? Dude, I think Morbius looks sick. What are you talking about? Morbius looks dope. That's true. They are buying Lysol for $1,000. Sony is gaining so much from being MCU adjacent. I can't decide if I'm pissed off by the leeching or impressed by the business savvy. See, that's where I'm at with it. I actually am impressed. I'm actually impressed. And like I said, I like Venom. I recently rewatched Venom. It's fucking cool, man. I think it's a cool movie. It's not MCU quality, but like the relationship between Venom and Eddie, Venny is their ship name. Somebody shipped them together. That's the Raylos would eat that shit up. But yeah, Venom and Eddie's relationship is really what makes that movie. I like that movie. Morbius gives me Phase 1 MCU vibes. It does to me as well, but like with a hint of that 90s comic book flavor, baby. You know what I mean? Venom 2 got delayed. I think it's too soon to make that call, man. Do you think Sony has a long-term plan for Spider-Man, Venom, that roster of characters? Or are you making it up as you go? I think they have a big plan because here's the thing. Tom Holland said recently, right, that he knows the entire plan with Marvel and Sony, and he's very, very excited about that plan. And before they re-signed with the MCU, he said Sony's plan for the future of Spider-Man is insane. So, no, they have a plan. And I think the plan involves that Solo character. I think the plan involves Null. And I think the plan obviously involves the Sinister Six, But yeah, I think they've got a plan. Morbius is going to disappoint. Look, it's like I said at the top, guys. It's like I said at the top. Everybody's a little tense right now. You know what I mean? Everybody's a little tense right now. So I'm not gonna get too hard on people. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is a safe place over here. You can come over and you can feel free to express your opinions. Your totally incorrect, horrible opinions about Morbius. You're free to come over and talk about that. I'm not gonna get upset. Come on in. You know, the water's warm. The water's warm. Feel free. Talk about Morbius. It's okay. The delay makes it worse. Maybe. But do you think Marvel Studios is in on that plan? MCU and Sony each do their own Infinity Saga type story, and it culminates in both universes coming together for Secret Wars. Colt, I would love that. I would love it. However, I think the plan stops short of that. I think that both studios do want to act sort of independently. Sony's very content to just have maybe normie fans assume that their connective tissue with Marvel is there. They're bringing in characters from the MCU and stuff like that. I don't know how much leverage Marvel even has in that situation. Besides the crazy PR, right? That's what was really interesting about the negotiation between Sony and Marvel. It's that despite a lot of reports talking about how this was sort of Disney's thing, like Sony was like, yeah, we'll keep the same deal. Marvel was like, hell nah, bruh. And that sort of caused a lot of the problems. Sony was seen as the villain in the PR side of things. So the only real incentive that they had, which is a big incentive, was to change that perception because of the fans. You know what I mean? Sorry I've brought up, but what do you think about the rumors of Apple buying Disney? Jedi Shogun. Love that name, Jedi Shogun. That's really cool. And no, we haven't. We talked about this like a couple weeks back, but we haven't talked about it today. Here's what I think about that. I don't want that to happen, but it is really going to depend. It's going to depend on several things. Right now, Disney is in this weird spot where they are hurting pretty bad. And I don't think the bottom's fallen out of the economy just yet anyways. I think that it's going to hit a real low, like a substantial real low. Look, when you've got really, really smart financial people trying to get liquid, trying to be in cash, trying to be cash heavy, bad sign. When 5-year bonds are where they're currently at right now, bad sign. So I think the bottom still has to fall out. However, if Disney can get some support to make it through this crazy time on the other end of this, I mean, they're Disney, right? They will have a lot of good things going for them moving forward. Their move to Disney Plus has been really good. And somebody brought up earlier that they just went over 50 million subscribers. That's likely because of the pandemic. It is at least partially because of the pandemic. People are signing up for Disney Plus more. So that is doing very well for them, but they're still technically losing money on Disney Plus right now. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say for sure how that would go down, but I thought a lot about this, and I don't want Apple to buy Disney. I don't. I want Disney to remain what it is. That's what I would want. But it's very possible that Apple, it all has to do with the shareholders. If Disney sells, it's the shareholders. It's really just, you know what the worst part of the whole thing is? It's just a bunch of people that are just worried about money and returns and saving their butt. And they'd be willing to sort of merge those companies to do it. You know what I mean? Would love for Apple to buy the company I work for. Venom 2 is a soft reboot. I had not heard that, and I don't know where that's coming from, but I have not heard it. At least Sony actually has a plan, unlike Disney's Star Wars trilogy. Hi-oh! Hi-oh! I'm starting this rumor. Keanu Reeves as Cyclops in the new X-Men. You heard it here, folks. 100% confirmed by one of the best Marvel sources out there, Captain Pennsylvania. Keanu Reeves is Cyclops. Damn. Damn. I see through the lies of Sony. I don't fear my own universe. Sony does. By the way, I work in media. That's why I'd like it, but also would hope Apple doesn't buy Disney. Gonna write an article about it? Nice, man. Dude, Stormbreaker's like stacking up these articles. When we go live on the website, he's gonna have like several articles coming out. And I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. He would be a good Revan. Am I a fan of Mortal Kombat? I am a fan of Mortal Kombat, yeah. Not like a huge fan. But I do like Mortal Kombat quite a bit. Bum, 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 bum. By the way, Taika Waititi's doing another watch through today. You know, Brandon Davis has been doing these great sort of watch throughs with different directors and people. The quarantine watch through. It's been really cool. And they're doing another one today with Taika Waititi. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some tidbits about Taika Waititi talking about Thor Ragnarok and things like that. I think that would be really cool. So keep an eye on that. Spawn reboot thoughts? You know, the Spawn reboot is an interesting thing because Seth MacFarlane has been working on that movie, I think, independently for some time, right? And he's been talking about this movie for a long time, for like years. I mean, I'd like to see it. You know what I mean? I'd like to see it. I'd also be really interested in like how Seth MacFarlane could do that independently. Check you later, Mav. Have a good meeting, man. And Jeremy Johns, the Den of Nerds Live and Jeremy Johns, maybe. Tweet at him. Could tweet at him. Fantastic Four reboot. I'm very excited for the Fantastic Four reboot. There's actually something really interesting going on in the comics right now with the Fantastic Four. If you've been reading Marvel Comics, you kind of know there's some beef going on between the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the comics currently. And Dr. Doom just got involved in whoop, baby, is that exciting to me. I worsted you again? So I would love for something like that to happen in the comics. I really do think they should leverage Franklin Richards as a mutant and what that will do with the mutants versus the Fantastic Four. I think that's really interesting stuff. Fassbender, Dr. Doom, that would be kind of cool, yo. I'd kind of be into that. Have you heard about the Spider-Man PS4 leak, sequel leaks about Venom and Carnage? I have not. I'll have to check that out. We are getting Franklin as X-Man. Well, isn't Cable X-Man? Isn't Nathaniel Richards or Nathaniel Summers from a different timeline where he doesn't have the techno-organic virus? Doesn't he become X-Man? Yo, Jamie Lannister, Dr. Doom would be sick. Am I hyped for Venom 2? I'm very excited for Venom 2. You must have just got in here because I've been talking about Venom 2 quite a bit. Love me some Venom too. What characters do you want in Spider-Verse 2? It's super easy. Kane, Scarlet Spider. Give me Kane, Scarlet Spider. Come on. Kane, Scarlet Spider. Let's go. I feel like it's not just a coincidence the direction Sony movies and the PS4 game are both going. That PS4 Spider-Man game is brilliant, dude. Am I hyped for Black Panther 2? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Ooh, Spider-Man 2099 for sure. He's in that post-credit scene, right? Jamie Lannister, Cyclops. Woo! I like that too. I think that's pretty cool. And you'll retire? Doom, Cyclops, and Conan. That's all you need. That game was so cool, man. I can't wait for the sequel, but I'm going to have to find somebody with a PlayStation because I used to live with somebody that had a PlayStation, and I played the Spider-Man 4 game, or Spider-Man PS4 game, and now I have no PlayStation. Josh, who would you cast yourself as in the MCU? Who could I be in the MCU? That is an interesting question. Once the world goes back to normal, when I can start getting back into the gym. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Got no idea. Weasel? Puck? I was thinking something like Hercules, guys. I was thinking something like Hercules. Maybe Doctor Doom or something like that. You know what I mean? Howard the Duck. I'm hyped for Black Widow as well. You know, it's Doorman. Oh, yeah. Back and forth with Deadpool. Yeah. That's fair. When will the Venom 2 trailer come out? We're counting down to it, Andreas. We think it's going to come out in the next 5 minutes. So we're counting down to it here. We're going to do an in-depth breakdown. Mole Man? How dare you, Bill? How dare you? Josh, you should be Conan. Absolutely, Yinzer Jim. Thank you. Nah, I'm just kidding, Andreas. Oh, Andreas, don't be mad, bro. I'm just playing, dog. Andreas, I'm sorry, bro. It's probably coming sometime this week. Just kidding, bro. Just kidding. Come on. Just kidding, man. Come on. Watch Bloodsport and got you hyped for Shang-Chi? Yeah, dude. That's going to be sick, man. Can't wait. The Puck beard? Yeah. It's very Yeah, I see what you're saying. You will be the next Spider-Man? Let's go. I'll do some Spider-Man. Warlock. Ooh, Warlock's cool, man. Nova and Blue Marvel. Yeah, those are all cool characters for sure. They better not kill off Taskmaster. Okay, let's sort of end on this. I'll end on this, guys. This is what we'll end on. There was another plot leak where they were talking about. I know, I'm just playing, Rob. They were talking about the Black Widow movie, and there's some talk that the super adaptoids might be in the film. The most recent leak, it was actually too wild. I was like, dude, this ain't real. There's no way this is real. But I do find it really interesting where there was this thought that Taskmaster, sort of looking at all the different powers and abilities of all of these different Avengers, obviously he cannot do what Ant-Man does just by watching him. You know what I mean? He can't just do what some of these people do. Vision, you know, all these other people. However, if they had a super adaptoid and they had some genetic material or a way to sort of scan it in and replicate the power, wouldn't that be fascinating? What if the super adaptoids get introduced and they actually legitimately have the power of the different Avengers? And then what if Taskmaster gets his brain plugged into one where he can, like, control remotely a super adaptoid, and then he actually legitimately does have the power of all of these different crazy Marvel characters? Wouldn't that be dope? Wouldn't that be dope? Yeah, I agree. That new Reddit plot leak seemed fake, but I like that idea with the super adaptoids. Wouldn't that be sick? Captain Pennsylvania wouldn't be sick. Wouldn't it be sick? That's what I'm saying. That could be huge for the film. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like great fan fiction. I know. I want to watch Black Widow too. I can't wait for Black Widow. But anyways, guys, we're going to call it there. Video on the Eternals coming out later today, talking about Black Knight, some of the things being said about that. I find it pretty interesting. We'll get into that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Talking about whatever news we can, and also just hanging out, doing Q&A with you guys, man. Just starting your nerdy day off well, you know what I mean? So make sure you come on back tomorrow, okay? Oh, yeah, Trinity. Is Trinity streaming? Is Trinity streaming? Let's see here. Let's get Trinity stream on here, huh? I don't know if he's streaming yet. He might start in like a couple minutes here. He's on? Your birthday? Salute your shorts? Man, okay, he is on. Well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. You have a great day too, man. If you want to follow this link on over to 2nd Street Marvel. I'm going to be hanging out there for a little bit. So for Wiki, shout me out, Josh. There you go. Hit like on the way out. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, I'll see you over on Trinity's stream. Get on over there. Trinity's like we're like talking to each other in our streams right now. It's crazy. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Let's go enjoy Trinity's stream. As I always say, hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. Chet, just get out of here, man. You're useless.